What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tony Delerme. Thanks for tuning in to the very first episode of Brother Please, Hear Me Out. And first, I want to apologize for the background noise that you may be hearing. I'm just having a few technical difficulties with the recording, but we're not going to allow that to stop us from sharing this information that's very much needed in the community. And I need you all to do me the biggest favor, and that's share this video with your fathers, your brothers, your uncles, your nephews, and your grandfathers as well. The reason I'm focusing on the brothers so much is because by essentially all weights and measures in this country, if it's something negative going on, anything that's negative, brothers are at the top of that list. Anything that's positive happening in this country, brothers are on the bottom of that list. Now, I know your immediate knee-jerk reaction is to go into, oh, brother, well, you know, that's because blah, 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 and X, Y, and Z. Now is not the time for that. Not on this show. We understand the politics of being on code, and we're doing a great job of that. But in between the politics of us being on code, yielding the desired results that we want, and now, you got to ask yourself, what are we doing? And what we're not doing is taking a serious enough look, glance, and understanding at the way in which this country is going to radically change within the next 10 years as it pertains to artificial intelligence, automation, and cryptocurrency. We don't have any idea, nor have we yet attained a clear grasp of how much that's going to actually affect us. And that's what this show is about, period. Now, what I wanted to speak on specifically is artificial intelligence and automation and the way in which it's going to be eliminating jobs at a rapid pace. And it's going to affect you, foundational Black Americans, the most. It's going to affect you the most because they're coming for all of the low wage, low earning, low skilled jobs. It's not to say that middle income jobs are not going to get hit, because they are going to get hit too. Middle income jobs such as human resources, marketing, accounting, those jobs are going to get destroyed. But the Walmart worker, the cashier at Walmart, the cashier working at McDonald's, working in the drive-thru, those jobs are going to be out of here. Working in a grocery store, those jobs are going to be out of here. And it's those low wage, low income earning jobs, service sector jobs, that Black folks predominantly work. And if we're not prepared for the change that's getting ready to happen, we're going to be completely economically left in the dust. We're already behind the 8 ball in a crazy way economically, and that's an understatement. But if we're not preparing now for what's to come, we're going to be the walking dead out here, economically speaking. So what I want to do right now is go over a few articles. I'm not going to read them in full, but what I will do is read excerpts from them, and I'm going to leave links in the description to the articles that I'm reading. And I strongly encourage you to read those articles for yourself in their entirety, so you see that I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I didn't just pull this stuff out of thin air. This is all valid information. And before I forget, if you don't pay attention to anything else that I say or listen to anything else that I say concerning this video, take this very seriously. For those of you who are in school seeking what you can consider higher education, right, in college, whether it be a university, whether it be a trade school, a community college, maybe an online certificate, whatever it is that you're pursuing or that you think you are ready to begin pursuing because you want to make some sort of a career change. If you are not getting any type of a degree or certificate in computer engineering, computer science, coding, or anything of that nature as it pertains to tech, as it pertains to artificial intelligence and automation. If you're not getting anything in that field, if you're not getting a degree or certificate in that field, you're wasting your time. Please believe me when I tell you, you are wasting your time and you are wasting your money. Within the next 10 years, starting right now, you better at least know how to code on the most basic level. If anything, know how to code. But whatever you're pursuing that you think you want to do or that you think you need to do, I'm going to say it again. If it's not in the field of computer science and electronics and technology and computer engineering, software development, you're wasting your time. Now let's get into these articles. The first article that I want to take an excerpt from is CNN Politics. This article is called "The Robots Are Coming for Your Job Too." Let's get into that right now. One of the reports by the McKinsey Global Institute includes a review of how susceptible to automation different jobs might be, and finds that hundreds of millions of people worldwide will have to find new jobs and learn new skills. Learning new skills can be more than difficult than it sounds. The likely challenge for the future lies in coping with the rising inequality and ensuring sufficient retraining, especially for low qualified workers. That's you. When they're saying especially for low qualified workers, they're talking about you. And the common thread that you're going to see throughout these articles that I'm going to read off to you is you're going to consistently hear them talking about retraining, learning new skills, retraining, learning new skills, computer science, computer engineering, software development. You're going to hear this over and over and over again. Like I said, if you're not pursuing any of those things as it pertains to higher education, you're wasting your time and you're going to get left in the dust. Let's move on to the next article. This article comes off of CNN Business. Now, just to give some context to this article very quickly, what they're talking about is how in Youngstown, Ohio, this town was known for supplying thousands of people with jobs in the car industry as it pertains to making cars. The car industry is all but gone, just as it is in Detroit. But in this town, or the city called Youngstown, Ohio, the car plants are gone and have been replaced with 3D printing companies and robotics companies. Youngstown, Ohio is becoming essentially the Silicon Valley for 3D printing and robotics. So that's just to give you context as to what they're talking about in this article. So let's get into it right now. GM is gone. History is one thing, but it's also Youngstown, Ohio's present, with the closure this week of the Mohanning Valley's last major manufacturer, General Motors Lordstown Chevy Cruze assembly plant, which employed 4,500 people as recently as 2017, plus thousands of other local suppliers that will also shut down as a result. In recent years, the federal government has poured money into the lively collaboration between academics and industry focused on preserving U.S. manufacturing for the next generation. And plenty of existing companies are adopting other new technologies to get leaner and more productive. But even if they succeed, the thousands of solid middle-class jobs that local residents could get from GM with just a high school diploma probably aren't coming back. Rather, the new manufacturing industry will require a smaller number of highly educated engineers, programmers, and machine operators. I'm going to read that for you again. Rather, the new manufacturing industry will require a smaller number of high quality educated engineers, programmers, and machine operators. The types of skills that today are in short supply, not just in the US, but around the world. I told you, you're going to keep hearing this come up over and over and over again about the need for people that are skilled in this area. What you have to do, the reason it's so necessary to jump on it now, outside of the fact that that's just stating the obvious, you need to jump on it now before everything actually starts to, I don't want to say collapse to make it sound so doom and gloom, but I'll put it to you like this. There's a recession on the way, and no one's taking that seriously at all whatsoever. And when that recession happens, and it's in my estimation that it'll happen this time next year, but when it happens, that recession is going to cause an acceleration in companies moving towards artificial intelligence and automation in order to save money on actually having to pay employees. It's going to cause an acceleration in that. That's what the recession is going to do. So before the you-know-what hits the fan next year, and that's just my prediction, the recession is going to happen sometime next year. Before it hits the fan and what I call the mad scramble begins, the mad scramble meaning everybody's running around like chickens with their head cut off now, trying to figure out what they're going to do. So guess what happens now? Everything that I'm telling you to do now, people are going to start doing it. And now classes and specifically certificate programs that you could easily get into now to at least be able to get in with a tech company on an entry level. Those kind of relatively easy certificates to pursue and get, there's going to be a waiting list for that kind of stuff now. A crazy waiting list. Because you're going to have so many people losing their jobs. It's going to look crazy. So you have to get on it now. Let me go on to the next article for you now. This is also from CNN Business, and this article is called "The Robot Revolution is Here. Prepare for Workers to Revolt." The long-term economic benefits of the Industrial Revolution were undisputable, but the industrialization process itself was a different matter. In similar fashion, the potential long-term benefits of artificial intelligence are enormous, but harnessing them will require governments to implement policies to smooth the short-term disruptive consequences and avoid backlash. They are talking about exactly what I just told you, the mad scramble. You see, these technological revolutions in the long run are a good thing, just like the last industrial revolution, right? In the long run, it's a good thing, right? But in the short term, in the here and now, when they start happening, it's a disaster, because you got a bunch of people losing their jobs to machines, to technology, now to artificial intelligence and automation. And there isn't an industry in place for these workers to go into smoothly as they exit out of the old industries. As we speak, there's nothing in place. There's nowhere for you to go in order for you to just smoothly and easily transition into getting another job that'll help you out throughout these times. There's nothing that exists. You're on your own. That's the mad scramble. You want to avoid that by getting prepared now, so you're not sitting here out in the cold when you lose your job, whether it be at McDonald's or if you lose your job in human resources. Everybody's getting hit. You just got to be ready for it right now. Now, the next article that I want to read, specifically as it pertains to McDonald's, because I keep bringing up McDonald's and Walmart and low wage, low earning jobs, because these are the kind of jobs that we actually work the most. And I want to show you something, or not show you something, but read this article off to you from MSNBC. It's called McDonald's acquires artificial intelligence company to help automate the drive-thru in its third tech deal this year. Now, mind you, for those of you who go to McDonald's right now, you've seen in pretty much every McDonald's currently, they have automated checkout where you just order right there in the middle of the aisle. You don't even have to talk to anybody. Now they're preparing to automate the drive-thru. Let me read this article off to you, a segment of this article right now. McDonald's said Tuesday it has agreed to acquire a company that is trying to automate the drive-thru. It's the fast food giant's third tech-focused deal this year. Attn, a Silicon Valley company founded in 2017, uses artificial intelligence to understand drive-thru orders, which could cut down on service time. McDonald's said the technology also could be used someday in its self-ordered kiosk and mobile app. The Chicago-based company said it evaluated Attn's technology in McDonald's test restaurants. Attn's employees will be the founding members of a group called McD Tech Labs. This will be housed within McDonald's global technology team. The burger chain wants to grow its presence in Silicon Valley by hiring more tech experts, including engineers and data scientists. For those of you who are smart enough to still be listening, do you see the common thread? Get on it now. You are wasting your time if you are not pursuing some sort of certificate or higher education degree in computer engineering, computer science, data science, computer software, anything tech related, anything technologically and artificially intelligence, automation, anything in that field. If you're not pursuing that, you're wasting your time. And I'm going to leave you with this. Well, you know what? I got one more article for you. I almost forgot. This article comes from MIT Technology Review. And the article is called "Every Study We Could Find on What Automation Will Do to Jobs in One Chart." Now, let me read this off to you because this is very interesting, but it's telling at the same time. Of course, not all statistics are created equal. The most commonly cited numbers are from three places. A 2013 Oxford study that said 47% of U.S. jobs are at high risk of automation in the next few decades. An OECD study suggesting that 9% of jobs in the organization's 21 member countries are automatable, and a McKinsey report from last year that said 400 million to 800 million jobs worldwide could be automated by 2030. In short, although these predictions are made by dozens of global experts in economics and technology, no one seems to be on the same page. There is really only one meaningful conclusion. We have no idea how many jobs will actually be lost to the march of technology's progress. We have no idea how many jobs will actually be lost to the march of technological progress. So what they're telling you here, because you have three different studies that are commonly cited. One is from the 2013 Oxford study that said 47% of U.S. jobs are at high risk of automation within the next few decades. The OECD study that says 9% of jobs in the organization's 21 member countries are automatable. So they're giving it to you on the low end. And then there's the McKinsey report that said last year 400 million to 800 million jobs worldwide could be automated by 2030. Commonly what you hear are the highball numbers. the 400 million to 800 million jobs can be automated by 2030, and 47% of U.S. jobs are at high risk within the next few decades. You commonly hear those numbers. You rarely hear the OECD study suggestions that say 9% of jobs in the U.S. are at risk. Most commonly, you're going to hear the highball numbers. Now, granted, at the end of all this, what's stated in this article is that nobody really knows. And that's what's scary. We're operating in the dark right now. We're walking around blind. This country, as far as technological progress and jobs are concerned, they actually don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how many jobs are going to be lost, and they don't know what they're going to do with all these unemployed people. They have no idea what's happening and what's going to happen once these companies pursue artificial intelligence and automation further, especially once the recession hits. They don't know. And that's why you have to be prepared now. One of the most easiest things you can do right now, and I'm going to speak on this more in the next episode. There's a website that I've been on that I've been using to learn how to code. If I remember correctly, the site is called Code Academy, and you can learn how to code for free on there. And they have a lot of different levels of coding and whatnot. You know, you can step it up. I believe that if you want to pay for, you can say a little higher learning on that site. You can pay and get a certificate, if I'm not mistaken. But you can start there as far as learning how to code on the most basic level. Everybody should know how to code. Everybody should know. Your children should know how to code. Everybody should know. That's going to be a skill that within 10 years, and especially in 20, if you can't code on the most basic level, you're just completely useless out here if you can't code on the most basic level. So hit up Code Academy so you can learn how to code for free. You can start there and then you grow from that point forward. But I'll be touching more on programs and platforms that are free or, you know, low in cost that you can use in order to learn these things. So with all that being said, for the final time, if you are not pursuing any type of higher education in computer science, computer engineering, software development, and the likes, anything technologically related, you are wasting your time. And within 10 years' time, you will be completely left in the dust.